Let's get these heads installed in the ZJ. How is this the most difficult part of my day? Look at that. See the O-ring there? Completely ripped. Crank no start. It is awesome that we're at this point now. Like, insanely cool. When I sent my heads to the machine shop, they recommended, even though the push rods looked okay, they definitely were worn a little bit. They recommended brand new push rods. I went with Melling engine parts, push rods off of Rock Auto. So I got myself some assembly lube. I'll show you guys me doing that after we get the heads installed, but first we gotta install the heads. That's the big ticket item right now. And of course, things just never go right. So I opened up my new package of Felpro head gaskets I got from Rock Auto. And they look nice, kinda, but notice in the corner here for both of them. Let's see if you can see it. They're both bent. You can see that bend down there, you see that? Yep, just like that. Both of them are bent like this, meaning, unfortunately, we're not installing these head gaskets today. And that is a real bummer because I was working all day to prepare for this. So I've reached out to Rock Auto. We'll see what they say, I guess. But right now, we're unfortunately on hold. So for a quick update, I got an email back from Rock Auto regarding the bent head gaskets, and they said I wouldn't get them until Wednesday. Today's Friday. So, as you can tell, I went to AutoZone and picked up 2 brand new head gaskets. So we're gonna be installing the heads right here that I got back from the machine shop very quickly. In the passenger side head here, they took care of that stuck intake manifold bolt, got it out, fixed that up. They surfaced the heads, which were out of spec. They were 7/1000ths of an inch warp. So they surfaced both of the heads, checked the valve springs, checked everything, cleaned them up as much as they could. I'm gonna go ahead and clean those mating surfaces before we install our heads, as well as we have brand new Victor Reinz head bolts that we're gonna be using to secure these to the block. And as for the push rods, they did say none of them were bent. They were all in good condition, but they still recommended just getting new ones. It's 204,000 miles on this valve train. So I went ahead with Melling push rods, OEM spec. I believe it's 6.8 something inches in length. Got 16 of these. I compared them to the old push rods. They're just slightly taller because those are worn over 200,000 miles. All right, so we got our heads all cleaned up and serviced from the machine shop. New head gaskets, new head bolts, new push rods. Let's get these heads installed in the ZJ. Make sure all this garbage is off. Actually, I'm gonna do the acetone one more time on this side. It's so funny being so careful with this. Meanwhile, you already know. Most people just throw it, just toss it together. I know.
We're doing this in 20 minutes.
I know. This I wasn't too sure about. Is it this side or this side that goes down and up? Oh.
Well, there's your answer.
There's my answer. There's my answer. Perfect. So we got our head gasket in place. I already have all these holes. They're all cleaned out, like a lot. Did a lot of cleaning in there, so I'm not even concerned about that. Let's get the head and drop it in place. I've already read the Haynes manual. There's really nothing else to do now. It's just the head. I'm gonna need your help to just maneuver it in. I guess maybe not.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Okay.
Here. Yeah, I was gonna say, place it down.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, I was gonna say, place it down. What about here? That might not.
No, you know what? Let's just... I'm going to need you to guide it in as best as possible. Just... So you see the far corner bolt hole?
Yeah.
That is where... You see that bolt hole? Yes. That has to go there.
Yeah.
So... We're just going to go for it. Again.
Okay.
We're not. Oh. What?
Gasket failure.
Oh.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, let me know when you have it.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm gonna move. All right, lift up a little. Lift up even more.
Got it?
All right.
Let me get around these. Okay. I can't see.
I know, me neither. Hang on.
Yep.
Just put it like there.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Holy crap, did we get it?
Yep.
My glove is in it, but it's good. We got it.
Wait.
No, well, I'll get it out. Head and head gasket is placed.
Not on yet.
Capital P placed. So lower bolts are the shorter ones. Longer ones are in here. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Grab me 5 long bolts. So as per the Haynes manual, it says to lightly coat them in oil, in fresh oil. So we got fresh 5W30 here. Let's do it. Yeah, that can't go wrong. I'm just gonna do this barehanded. I'll try to dip the bolts, wipe off excess, and just pilot them in. Okay. All right, oh, there we go. And now excess off, lubricated, in. Okay, I'll keep doing the short ones. While I'm doing this one, can you get me 5/8? Because I want to be able to use it. Perfect, thank you. All right, so we're gonna get all of our bolts just not even snug. I don't even want to do snug. I just want to get them in there, just sitting. I'm hoping for good things and nothing but good things.
Absolutely.
I know.
You're following the manual. That's all. Literally the best you can do.
I know. That's what worries me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I followed the manual. Well, so good news so far. These are all going in, you know, like they're fully piloting in without any resistance. These will be the bigger test of that, but even so, there's enough oil in this rag now. Thank you. Tip this one. All right, we got our head on with the, I see the head gasket there. You can actually, if you come on this side, look.
Oh, yeah.
You actually see it right there. That's super cool. It's on. This one, if it goes in.
Then we're in.
We're in, man.
Nice.
We're in. Oh, man. So yesterday was a really big day. We got the new head gaskets and the refreshed heads on this small block, and I am just super stoked. I mean, next thing to do is to torque these head bolts down. I already did the passenger side. Now, that's the more difficult side. It's a little less room, so I just wanted to do it and get it over with. I'm going to show you guys the driver's side. The sequence is the same for any head installation, any head bolt torquing sequence. So as you can see on this diagram right here, we have the torquing sequence. We're going to start with bolt number 1 and make our way to bolt number 10 in our initial torquing sequence with 50 foot-pounds. And then we're going to do it all over again with 105 foot-pounds as our mark on the second run. So we're going to do 50 foot-pounds on all the bolts first, and then 105 on all of them to set them in place as per the manufacturer's spec. And because there are some, tighter spots than others, I have myself a multitude of differing sizes sockets and extensions. These head bolts are 5/8 inch. So you're going to want just some different sizes to make your way from the back to the front, and even where those spark plug tubes are, it just gets a little tight in those areas. So you're going to want different sizes of sockets and extensions to get yourself into every nook and cranny you need. Now we've got my torque wrench here. I'm going to set this to 50 foot-pounds for our first pass. Get our socket on there. We're going to start with head bolt number 1. I had these hand tightened yesterday, so I might do a quick pass around and make them all snug, but let's just at least start with this one. 50 foot-pounds for bolt number 1. Okay. 50 foot-pounds for bolt number 2. .50 foot-pounds on bolt number 2. Now bolt number 3 is going to be this one. I also like the shorter the socket, the better in these situations. It gives you the most leverage and most control. To bolt 4. Bolt 4. 50 foot-pounds. Bolt 5 in the back. As you're tightening them up, you might notice the other ones get looser because pressure is not being evenly distributed anymore. Bolt 6, 50 foot-pounds. Okay. Bolt 7 is right in front of us. Okay. Bolt 8. It's 50 foot-pounds. Bolt 9. And as you notice, these short sockets are perfect for the top of the head, where the valve springs are. They clear just enough where I'm not touching the springs or the tops. Bolt 10. Yeah, there's room back there. Make sure that is seated on there. Okay. And now that we're done with our round of 50 foot-pounds on all of our bolts, we're going to go up to 105 foot-pounds. So we're setting our torque wrench. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead, get my short socket, 5/8. I'm going to check it on one of these, because I know these were torqued down properly. You can see how much force that is. All right. And now to start this again, 105 foot-pounds. I'm lifting it. Oh, geez. 105 foot-pounds, bolt number 1. Let's go to bolt number 2. $105, bolt number 2. Bolt number 3, 105. Bolt number 4. Perfect. Bolt number 8. Oh, bolt number 9. Okay. All right. Look at that. 105 foot-pounds on all of our head bolts. Our heads are installed. Now for the next step in our reassembly, we're going to go ahead and install our brand new milling push rods that are OEM spec. We're going to go ahead with nice brand new OEM spec push rods. And to do that, we're going to take a little bit of assembly lube. I just got myself some Lucas Oil assembly lube right here. Put a little bit around the top. I'm not really looking to cover the hole, but on the wear points and a little bit on the bottom. We're gonna go ahead, put that in, make sure it's touching our lifter. Here we go. And then we're gonna continue down the line. The whole purpose of lubing these right now, we do want to prevent dry metal on metal as much as possible before oil gets a chance to really make its way through all these components once we started. And what I'll want to do before installing our rockers is to make sure that all these push rods are in fact seated properly on the lifters. We've got all of our push rods installed on our driver's side. Let's go ahead and now make sure, yep, we seem to be seated in every single lifter properly. So now I'm going to do the passenger side, and then we're going to go ahead and get our rockers installed. All right, so now that I've spent maybe like 4 hours cleaning rocker arms and especially the intake manifold. That was a huge thing to clean. It's behind the ZJ. We'll be installing that after. First thing we're going to do is install the rocker arms on our driver's side. As you can see, I've already done the rocker arms on the passenger side. I'll show you what you have to do on the driver's side. It's the same process. I've also installed already and torqued the spark plugs while everything is still open. So we're going to do that as well on the driver's side. So rocker arm installation and spark plug installation while everything is open up on the driver's side. After all that, we're going to go with the intake manifold and then valve covers bit by bit. So I've gone ahead, not only have I cleaned all of the rocker arms and scrubbed what I needed to, I've also gone and put assembly lube on the inside where it rocks on the mount right there. So once again, we're not in a dry start situation with, you know, some pretty important valve train components. You want to make sure they're at least lubricated to some extent as you're installing them. So upon initial start, before all the oil gets circulated in the engine, they're not just unnecessarily getting worn out. Get all of our rocker arm pairs installed. Make sure that the bolts line up with the holes. If they don't, it's all right. Just gotta play with them a little. And what I've noticed as you're doing this, make sure that your push rods are still touching your lifters, aren't, you know, jarred out of place in any way. I can tell right now they're still on the lifters, so that's good. And we can push this back just to check. Yep, we're on the lifters. Go ahead, just get them hand tight for now. When you're tightening all your rockers, even with the harmonic balancer at the V8 position, which is the neutral position for all the lifters, there are still a few that aren't exactly all the way down. That could just be this engine. I noticed that when I was taking it apart too, right? So I don't think that's uncommon though. With other videos I've looked at online, it seems to be a common thing that can and will happen. You just got to make sure, you know, you get them nice and snug as much as you can, and then they're going to be torqued down afterwards. So let's see, we're on our lifters, Let's keep going ahead. When I took all these rocker pairs off, I made sure to mark where they went, so they're going on the same exact spot on our heads. Last rocker arm pair, gonna go in right in the front here. Make sure our push rods go in these slots in the slide. And then make sure the rocker arm bolts line up with our mounting positions. Do a little at a time for each, just to make sure, once again, they're going in there evenly and easy without much resistance. This rocker arm pair, I actually had to take out of the slide because one of the bolts was just crooked. And that's because the rocker mount in the slide was pushed up a bit due to a bunch of carbon buildup under it. So as I mentioned already, I did take all these apart, cleaned them up and put them back together. And I recommend you do the same because you could run into that situation where it's not fully seated in the slide itself. And before I get them fully torqued, make sure visual inspection, they're seated in all of the lifters. We've got them all seated and we're gonna go ahead. 21 foot-pounds. That's a click. That's a click. See, that's a lot. As that ends up being a lot of movement with the bolts, I like to go back and forth if there's just a bit much between each. So one is not torqued fully before the other is almost there. Ooh, we've got a lot of compression on this one here, and that makes sense because you could see this lifter is up pretty high. So it makes sense why this valve spring is at pretty much almost full compression. There we go. Make our way down. There we go. 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. Now for the last ones in the back. Okay, 21, 21. Now we have successfully installed all of our rocker arms. Like I mentioned, I already did the spark plugs on the passenger side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the spark plugs on the driver's side now. Now, in regards to spark plugs, I went ahead with these NGK Platinum spark plugs off of Rock Auto. I usually go with Iridium spark plugs, but these are more than good enough for this engine and this application. Now, we're gonna go ahead. You could see we got 4 in a pack, so obviously ordered 2 4-packs for this V8 engine. Let's go ahead and take one out. You want to be very careful not to drop these because they are fragile. So we'll hold it from the electrode up top. And now you see we have the threads here where it's going to thread into our head. And up here is where the spark plug wire will actually pop in and sit over this ceramic up here. Now, what you want to do when you're installing spark plugs, you want to get yourself some dielectric grease. This is synthetic grease, super lube that also acts as dielectric grease as well for applications such as this. A lot of people make the misconception that you should cover the electrode as well as inside the spark plug wire with this grease. That is not what you want to do. The whole purpose of dielectric grease on spark plugs is to actually prevent that spark from leaving this cavity here out the wire. So what you're doing is actually coating the ceramic on the bottom and even on the ribbed part of this plug. You're coating it with the dielectric grease to prevent that spark from leaving the boot, as well as to prevent any water or whatnot going up into your spark plugs, because that can happen over time. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take just a little bit of dielectric grease out of the tube. Let's put that down. I'm going to go ahead and just coat our plug like such. And what I'll do as well, when we're putting the wires on, I'm going to put some on the bottom of the boot so it actually sits around the bottom as well. But we want to coat our plug with just a little bit of dielectric grease, just enough. And then I'm going to, with my dry fingers, dryish for the most part, take our plug, drop it in, get that ready to thread afterwards, and go on to the next one. Dielectric grease is non-conductive. If you coat your electrode on your spark plug or even within your plug wires with dielectric grease, what do you think is going to happen if it's non-conductive? I think you can guess. So let's go ahead again. some grease. This is more of the amount that I wanted on the last one, but it's fine because we're going to put it on the plug anyways. Call it the ceramic. All right. And now with our dry fingers, go ahead. A lot of people will just do it on the plug wires itself, but what this kind of guarantees is that when you push the plug wire, the boot over it, it will just push all this down and make it a nice seal to prevent that spark or prevent any water or debris from getting inside. With our clean fingers again, I'm gonna go in the third one here, drop it in, make sure it's on the threads. It is. Last plug for our driver's side head, same deal. Hold it with our clean fingers, switch it over to our glove, push a little bit out, perfect amount of dielectric grease on our ceramic on the plug. Okay, now with our clean fingers once more into our head, sitting on our threads, ready to be torqued down to 30 foot-pounds. We are set to 30 foot-pounds on our torque wrench. Go in here. Once again, keep in mind the driver's side just has more room than the passenger side. So this is the easier side, honestly, regarding tightening everything down. Okay. Okay. 2 more to go, and then we will have installed our spark plugs. Okay, last one. Okay, and with that, we've successfully installed our brand new push rods, reinstalled our rocker arms to 21 foot-pounds on each mount, and installed our brand new spark plugs in each head. On these new NGK spark plug wires, you can see they actually have each wire labeled for the cylinder it's supposed to be attached to. So we're just going to go ahead, refer to the Haynes manual to see where that is on the distributor cap and get the appropriate wires attached and plugged in. We have our heads reinstalled and we're about to get our intake manifold installed. As you can see, I have all of our gaskets readied for the intake manifold installation. So we are just going to go ahead, as you can see, a little bit of RTV at the joints of everything, RTV to hold these cork gaskets in place. I'm going to go ahead, get our intake manifold. I'm going to get this out of the way just a little. I don't want that in the way. And we're gonna put it on in. It's time to seat it. I don't want to move our gaskets, so I'm going to be very careful here. Okay, hold on. Oh. Okay, checking the gaskets in the front. I am seated. It kind of moved the gaskets for a hot second, and then it's seated back in them again. So I'm looking. So far, everything looks good in regards to the gaskets that sit on the heads. Feels like our gasket down there is in place as well on this side. That's in place, we're good. Intake manifold is seated. Awesome, wow. This is a big milestone in regards to getting this engine together. This is crazy. Look how clean it is, by the way. I spent 3 hours, or maybe even 4, cleaning this up. And as you can see here, we got a new thermostat housing with a new thermostat underneath. Just once again, one of those, while I'm here, let me get that replaced. This coolant sensor was, as far as I was told, and it looks it, was brand new already. I did take that coolant temperature sensor out when I was cleaning up the manifold. I put new thread tape on it, got it back in place, nice and snug to spec. What I'm gonna do now is, before I tighten the manifold down, I do want to get our valve covers on. Not that they'll be in the way, and maybe I just don't want any more debris than can get in our valve train in. So we're gonna go ahead and place the valve covers on top with the gaskets loosely with the bolts. I'll get the bolts cleaned up real quick, loosely just place them in. And then we can go ahead and torque down our intake manifold. The gaskets we are installing slowly dwindles. Let's get this placed over. I already cleaned up the top of the head. Once again, these were already cleaned at the machine shop, but you know, did a little degreasing and extra cleaning. They weren't perfectly cleaned, and that's perfectly fine. And that's why you should clean everything before you install. That's our gaskets in place. Brand new Felpro gaskets. We've got our driver side valve cover, nice and cleaned from the other day. Go ahead, get this seated in place. I'll make sure it's all lined up as I put all the screws in. But for now, she's seated pretty good. Ho ho ho. All right. And let's go ahead with our passenger side valve cover. I have some brand new spark plug wires to move out of the way. Yeah, I remember this being a little weird, how this went in because of the AC. I don't want to smack our rockers. Everything's a puzzle with how things are engineered, you know? Maybe it's these wires that have to move for us. Yeah, it is. The wires had to move up. We've got our passenger side valve cover in place. Valve cover bolts, 95 inch-pounds. There's also valve cover studs. So there are two things. There's the bolts that are just flat, and then there's studs that other things hook onto. The bolts are 95 inch-pounds. The studs are 115 inch-pounds. So I'm gonna get that all situated and get our valve covers fully installed and torqued down, but we are so close, so close. I don't think I'm gonna get this running tonight, but at least we're getting this far, and this is crazy. All right, gone ahead and torqued down our intake manifold, our driver side valve cover. Didn't do the passenger side valve cover yet, but kind of got ahead of myself. Took care of the fuel injectors, new O-rings, cleaned out the rail. We're gonna go ahead with a little bit of dielectric grease on the injector O-rings, so we're not just pushing dry O-rings into our intake manifold, potentially damaging them, because that will and can happen. I've done it before. And as we're putting this all together, here's our old belt tensioner on its mount, and here's our new one. I'm gonna switch them out. Look at that, nice and new. Same thing goes for our old ignition coil. Got a brand new Delphi one right here. Let's put it on. Would you look at that? Nice. 2 weeks in and we are almost done. I just finished reinstalling the alternator, got everything on the top end torqued down. All we got left is our intake with a new air filter and our fan with the new fan clutch that actually came with the water pump. Gonna go ahead, do all that. Actually, before I do the fan, let me get the belt on. I have the belt diagram. I think it's on the air intake. Gonna go take a look at that and we'll get our belt installed. After that though, fill it with oil, fill it with coolant. Pray she runs. Pray she runs. I'm pretty certain I got the timing down, especially when I had to take the distributor out. All right, knock on wood. So the belt routing is actually located on our fan shroud. We have air conditioning in this ZJ, so we'll be following this diagram. We're gonna go ahead with our brand new belt. Goodness, I hope this is correct. Oh, it looks like the right length, but we'll find out, shall we? Okay. It might be easier to go over a smooth pulley last. I think that's correct. More leverage. Way better. Now I am not putting pressure all over the place. And I have time to work with this now. Let's release the tension. Nice brand new belt. Let's give it a couple of spins. Super smooth, feel the compression. Here's some air in our intake. Perfect. Belt's installed. With our new water pump, it also came with a new fan clutch. So let's just see what this looks like. Exactly what you think it looks like. A brand new fan clutch. Gonna get my impact to just whack it off the fan and put the new one on. Made in USA, love to see it. New bolts too, perfect. And let's read the instructions, see if it gives me torque specs. 15 to 20 foot-pounds. Okay. I'm just gonna whack it with the impact. These are bolts we're not reusing. Does this separate easily? Oh, it's moving. There it goes. Okay, we got our fan blade off of our 28-year-old old clutch. It even says in the instructions this is a smaller clutch, but it'll operate just the same. I think it says something about better efficiency. It might be true. The older, heavier clutch probably took a little more power to spin. Maybe just ever so slightly. All right. Clutch on, let's just seat them in. Okay, and let's hit it. Okay, and that is our new fan clutch is installed to our fan. I can probably check these torque specs now real quick. It's supposed to be 15 to 20. I need a 13 mil socket. Yep, that's torqued. Yep, so I'm guessing these are two. Yep. And we're ready to go. Unfortunately, you have to install the fan shroud together with the fan. So we're gonna go ahead, lower our fan in, and at least try to get this spun on. I mean, this side seems okay. This side doesn't. Okay, let me pop underneath. It's like Close enough technically, but I think I gotta... Oh yeah, it's like bending down there. What a pain in my ass. Oh, hurting my back, hurting my back, hurting my back. How is this the most difficult part of my day? Okay, perfect, got it. Just have to shimmy it. I hurt my back so bad. Oh, okay. There, oh, now she's seated. Now we're in. Thank you, fan shroud. Spanner wrench in, I think I got it set. I got my light down here so we could see. Oh, so close. Just like that. That might be it. Okay, cool. We're in there with the spanner wrench. We're going to, oh, did I just get out? No, we're in. I'm gonna hold it there as best as I can. Crisscross my arms. Once more. She's tightened. Fan's on there. On there pretty good too. Look at that. A nice brand new air filter. The old one was my tool rack. And back with our air intake. I scrubbed this pretty good when I first took this all apart. Let's go ahead. Get it seated. Make sure it sits nice everywhere. There we go. Got our intake seated. Reattach this hose. There we go. Okay. Let me get the new oil filter on. Close that pan bolt. We're going to fill her up with oil. Fill her up with coolant. This engine is going to start. We're now going to be filling our 5.2 liter V8 with 6 fresh quarts of 5W30, or until the dipstick says it's okay for now, and we'll see after it runs, because it's running. There's no exceptions. It is running. I'm going to treat it as break-in oil, if you will. And after this is all done, and I flush this out, I'll be going ahead with my tried and true Pennzoil Platinum. Filling her up. Wow. So after I've got it filled with oil and then subsequently coolant, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to manually crank the engine just a few times to get stuff flowing on through, oil up, whatever is, dry. And then hopefully we start. So far, nothing's leaking. So that's good. So far. That's 5 quarts of 5W30, Walmart special, just to see what our readings are on this dipstick here. Clean it off. I'd add and safer right there. Once again, this is a fresh start, dry engine pretty much. So I don't expect this reading to really show a lot. It's in the do not overfill. You know what I'm going to do? Interesting. It needs to go throughout the engine, right? So I'm going to hand crank it. And then, after we start it, maybe I'll top it off with that 6th. I'm going to leave it for right now. It's past the safe mark and the do not overfill mark. So let's keep an eye on that, right? Now, for the coolant. So I won't be burping the coolant system just yet. I just want to get something in there and moving around, and we'll do a whole burp after we've determined, things aren't bad. So this engine already had regular green antifreeze in it, and you'd be surprised how difficult that is to find these days. I wasn't looking to really flush the coolant from the system fully. Just my situation right now, it just would have been messy, especially where I have the Jeep in the garage currently. And also the coolant itself looked good, honestly, nothing in it. So I went ahead and ordered this online, this Shell Zone antifreeze. It is just the regular green stuff that you'd expect. So let's go ahead. Oh, this actually might be messier. There he goes. So we're gonna fill our coolant system. And we're gonna crank our engine manually, just a little bit. I'd be lying if I didn't say I am so nervous right now, just genuinely. There it goes. Crank away. Gonna check our oil level once we're done. A few more. 1, 2. Feels nice and smooth. Oh man. And the last thing to do here, my heart is racing. Free up our negative terminal. I didn't install our ignition coil wire. Snap it down. It's snapped on. It's now or never. Unfortunately, I'm currently taking the fuel rail out right now because I'll be able to show you in just a second. Upon priming the engine by turning the key, one of our injectors is leaking. I'm getting fuel all over. And I don't know if it is a failed O-ring, or to me it kind of looks like the fuel rail cracked. We're gonna find out now. I'm happy to say I found the problem. Unfortunately, it's just an annoyance. I mean, that's still a good thing. Look at that. See the O-ring there? Completely ripped. And I honestly do remember, putting this fuel injector in. The O-ring kind of caught. Yep. We have a failed O-ring. Oh well, I don't have any extras. I guess I'm gonna go to AutoZone. We're delayed just a little bit. And one trip to AutoZone later, and 10 minutes later, we got a set of 4 O-rings for our fuel injectors. So now we can take this obviously ripped one. You see that? It was leaking right through there, and just pour it out. So now I have 4 chances to screw this up again. Just wiggle it. It does take some force. You'll feel when it's seated, and that is nice. Oh yeah, that's in there. Okay. Fuel rail is back together. Oh. All right. Now to carefully reassemble everything I just had to take apart. It's unfortunate, but it's okay. We'll just get this back together and pretend that didn't happen. You know, obviously we hit a little bit of a snag with that fuel leak, but it looks good now. So that cost us about an hour in total, just troubleshooting, getting that all taken care of. Fingers crossed. It's now time to start the ZJ. It's been 2 weeks of rebuilding the top end of this engine. Wish me luck. Oh, so we primed the fuel. Primed it. Okay. Here goes. Well, let's do a quick little crank. That sounds good. I'm scared. Oh, Okay. Okay. It's 2 cranks of nothing. Just check. She's turning over. She's sounding good. She sounds good. She's turning over. Okay. Nothing obvious. Oh God. Starter's going. I know we have fuel. No. Crank no start. I can't flood this engine. Gotta figure out what's going on. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. So I spent like 2 hours troubleshooting this crank no start condition. I took a spark plug out and I made sure it sparked, which it did. I obviously have fuel because there was that fuel spill that happened because of that broken O-ring on, what is that, cylinder 2. But I think I might have solved it, and we're going to start it for the first time and see. I did some testing, cranking the engine and seeing if top dead center was compression or exhaust with having the distributor cap open, seeing which way the rotor was pointed towards. You want the rotor to be firing the cylinder that it's firing at while it's at its compression stroke. And I was thinking about this the other day when I put all that back together because I had to take the distributor out. I was thinking that I had got it turned around by accident because there is a notch to put the distributor back, but you could turn it and it'll go either way. So 180 degrees the opposite direction. I think it was the opposite direction. So we got the battery reconnected. I got it all back together. After this, I'll see. Let's give it a start. Wish me luck. That's got an exhaust leak. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, I gotta. Oh, that has totally got an exhaust leak. I'll figure that out. Oh my God, it runs. Oh man. That is an exhaust leak for sure. Whew. And some stuff burning off. Oh my God. It runs. Smooth too.